The first thing Goku noticed when Shinron Mode fully activated was the silence. Not the absence of sound, but something deeper, a profound stillness that existed beneath all noise, all chaos, all motion. In that stillness, he could hear everything. Every heartbeat of every dragon across every dimension pulsed through his consciousness like a cosmic rhythm. Billions upon billions of souls, each one unique, each one connected to him through invisible threads of ancient power. Their joys resonated through him like warm sunlight, their sorrows cut through him like frozen blades. Their purposes, varied and beautiful and terrible, unfolded in his mind like flowers blooming across an infinite garden. He stood at the center of the Dragon Realm's grand platform, a massive disk of crystallized dragon essence that floated in the void between realities. Above him stretched what appeared to be stars, but he knew better now. Each point of light was a dragon, manifested in its truest form, watching him with ancient eyes that had seen universes born and die. Below him was nothing, or rather, everything. The space beneath the platform contained all possibilities, all potentials, all the raw creative force that dragons channeled when they granted wishes. Looking into it too long made his head spin, so he focused instead on what was directly in front of him. Elder Dragon Sephiroth stood there, his massive form scarred by countless eons of battle and service. His scales were the color of old bronze, marked with silver streaks that pulsed with inner light. Each scar told a story. Goku could see them now, could read them like words on a page. This dragon had fought against the collapse of Universe 4 in its early days, had stood against the Void Lords during the Second Cosmic War, had personally forged the first set of Dragon Balls alongside the Grand Priest himself. "You understand now," Sephiroth said, his voice like grinding mountains, "what the Dragon Balls truly are." Goku nodded slowly. The knowledge had flooded into him the moment Shinron Mode activated, but understanding and accepting were different things. They're not just magical items, they're pieces of dragon souls, living fragments sent into the mortal realm. "To grant hope," another voice added. Dragon Queen Luminara materialized beside Sephiroth's, her pearl-white scales shimmering with an inner radiance that made Goku's eyes water if he looked directly at her. When the Grand Priest first proposed the Dragon Ball system, it was meant to be a gift, a way for mortals to overcome impossible obstacles, to bring back those lost too soon, to right terrible wrongs. "But mortals are flawed," Sephiroth continued, his tone not judgmental but matter-of-fact. "They see a tool and think only of how to use it for their own benefit. They don't consider the cost." Goku felt his chest tighten. A sharp stabbing pain bloomed beneath his ribs, spreading outward like cracks in ice. He gasped, dropping to one knee. What is that?" Luminara moved closer, her expression sympathetic. "Those are the wounds, Dragon King. Every time a Dragon Ball is misused, every time a wish is made with selfish intent, every time someone resurrects the dead against the natural order of things, the dragon who granted that wish suffers." The pain intensified. Goku saw flashes of memory that weren't his own. He saw Frieza's revival, felt the dragon Purunga's anguish at being forced to bring back such evil. He saw the wish that created the Black Star Dragon Balls, felt the dragon's horror as its power was corrupted and twisted. He experienced the formation of the Shadow Dragons in Universe 7, felt the accumulated negative energy tearing through dragon souls like acid. "I used them," Goku said quietly, shame coloring his voice. "I brought back Krillin. I brought back everyone Frieza killed on Namek. I brought back everyone Cell killed. I fought the Shadow Dragons, but I never understood what caused them. I never knew you were all suffering because of us." "You were not meant to know," a third voice spoke. Dragon Prince Zarathos appeared, younger than the others but no less powerful. His scales were deep crimson, and his eyes burned with fierce intensity. You were not meant to know. The system was designed so that mortals wouldn't feel guilty about using the Dragon Balls. Guilt defeats the purpose of hope. But the system was also designed with the assumption that mortals would use the Dragon Balls sparingly, wisely, only in times of true need. That assumption was wrong, Sephiroth said bluntly. Within a single mortal generation, the Dragon Balls of Universe 7 were being used multiple times per year. Resurrections became commonplace, the wishes became increasingly selfish and petty, and the dragons suffered in silence, because that is what we were created to do. Goku stood slowly, fighting through the pain. His Shinron aura flickered around him, golden white light that pushed back against the darkness of accumulated suffering. Show me all of it. Luminara hesitated. Dragon King, the full scope of the damage might... I said, show me, Goku interrupted, his voice firm but not angry. If I'm supposed to heal this, I need to understand it completely. All of it. The three elder dragons exchanged glances. Then Sephiroth nodded. Very well, but steel yourself, Goku. What you're about to experience has broken lesser beings. The world dissolved. Goku found himself floating in a vast cosmic space, surrounded by threads of light that stretched in every direction. Each thread represented a dragon, and he could feel them all. Simultaneously, the healthy ones pulsed with steady, strong energy, but there were so many that flickered weakly, their light dim and struggling. He focused on one at random, reaching out to touch it. The moment his consciousness made contact, he was pulled into a vision so vivid it felt more real than reality. Universe 3, a planet called Macaris, where technology had advanced to levels that rivaled the gods themselves. In the throne room of the planet's supreme dictator, 7 Dragon Balls sat arranged in a circle, glowing with power. The dragon that emerged was small, perhaps only 10 feet in length, with scales the color of emeralds. Its name was Verdalis, and Goku could feel its exhaustion like it was his own. "Speak your wish," Verdalis said, its voice weak. The dictator, a cybernetically enhanced being called Monarch X, grinned with metallic teeth. "I wish for the power to destroy the rebel fleet currently hiding in the Andromeda sector." Verdalis's eyes showed pain, but it had no choice. "Your wish is granted." Energy flowed from the dragon's body, carrying through its essence like hooks through flesh. The wish was granted. Somewhere in distant space, an entire fleet of ships, filled with families, children, people fighting for freedom, simply ceased to exist, erased in an instant. Verdalis collapsed, barely able to maintain its form. The Dragon Balls scattered, flying off to random locations across the planet. Monarch X laughed. "Excellent! In 2 months, when they regenerate, I'll summon you again. I have many enemies to erase." The dragon faded, returning to its realm to recover. But Goku could feel that it wouldn't fully recover. Not in 2 months, not in 2 years. The damage was cumulative, and Verdalis was dying slowly, wish by wish. The vision shifted. Universe 6, a planet Goku recognized, Sadala, the Saiyan homeworld that still thrived in this universe. But something was wrong. The Dragon Balls here had been used 17 times in the past 3 years. 17 times. The dragon, Sadalan, was massive and powerful, befitting the warrior race it served. But even its strength had limits. A young Saiyan warrior stood before it, the 7 Dragon Balls arranged at her feet. "I wish to be the strongest fighter in the universe." Sadalan granted the wish, and Goku felt the dragon's power drain. But more than that, he felt the wrongness of it. Strength gained through wishes rather than training created an imbalance in the cosmic order. It had to be compensated for somewhere, somehow. The cost was paid by Sadalan itself, A portion of its eternal essence was burned away to fuel the unearned power. The warrior didn't notice or care. She powered up, feeling her new strength, and immediately flew off to challenge someone to a fight. Sadalin faded, weaker than before. The visions came faster now, one after another, an avalanche of pain and suffering. Universe 10, a dragon forced to grant the same resurrection wish 15 times for the same person. A spoiled prince whose parents refused to let him die despite his own recklessness. Each resurrection pulled the soul further from the natural cycle, damaging both the dragon and the fabric of reality itself. Universe 12, a dragon manipulated by a corrupt Kaioshin into granting wishes that altered historical events, creating temporal paradoxes that had to be stabilized by the dragon's own life force. Universe 2, a dragon driven to madness by the sheer volume of love-related wishes, its mind fracturing under the weight of manipulating emotions and hearts against their natural inclinations. Universe 8, a dragon trapped in a time loop forced to grant the same wish over and over for eternity because a mortal had accidentally wished for this moment to last forever. And Universe 7, his home. Goku saw Shinron and Porunga, both dragons he knew personally, both suffering from decades of overuse. He saw the moment the shadow dragons were born, felt the accumulated negative energy finally reaching critical mass. He experienced their pain when Omega Shenron nearly destroyed everything. The visions finally released him. Goku found himself back on the grand platform, on his hands and knees, tears streaming down his face. His entire body shook with the weight of what he'd experienced. "Now you understand," Sephiroth said quietly. "This is why you were chosen, Goku. Not because you're the strongest fighter, not because you saved the multiverse before, but because you have the capacity to feel others' pain and actually care about it. Because you can witness suffering and choose to act." Goku slowly stood, wiping his eyes. His Shinron aura blazed brighter than before, fueled not by anger, but by determination. "How do I fix this? How do I heal them?" Luminara gestured toward a doorway that hadn't existed a moment before. "Come, we'll show you the nexus." They walked through corridors that defied physics, spaces that were somehow both vast and intimate, ancient and newly formed. Other dragons passed them, nodding respectfully to Goku. He could feel each one now, could sense their individual essences. Some were curious about their new king, others were skeptical. All of them were waiting to see what he would do. Finally, they entered a chamber that made Goku's breath catch. The nexus. It was a sphere of pure energy, perhaps 50 feet in diameter, floating in the center of a spherical room. Thousands upon thousands of threads extended from it in every direction, each one glowing with a different color, each one pulsing with a unique energy. These were the connections to every dragon in existence, and through them to every Dragon Ball across every universe. "This is the source," Luminara explained, her voice reverent. "Every dragon ever created draws power from the nexus. Every Dragon Ball is connected to it. As Dragon King, you have the ability to channel this energy, to redistribute it where it's needed most, to heal the wounded and prevent the accumulation of negative energy." Goku stepped forward, drawn to the nexus like a magnet to a magnet. He reached out slowly, his hand trembling slightly, and placed his palm against its surface. The connection was instantaneous and overwhelming. Power flooded through him, not destructive power like he was used to, but creative force. The energy that birthed stars and shaped galaxies. The power to heal, to restore, to balance. It was unlike anything he'd ever experienced. Ultra Instinct had made him move without thinking. Super Saiyan transformations had multiplied his strength. But this was something entirely different. This was the power to make things right. He could see everything now. Every thread, every connection, every dragon across every universe. He could feel each one, like a doctor reading a patient's vital signs. Verdalis in Universe 3 was at 17% capacity, dying slowly. Sadalon in Universe 6 was at 42%, stable but damaged. The dragon trapped in the time loop in Universe 8 was at 8%, on the verge of complete dissolution. "I can feel them all," Goku whispered. "Every single one." "Yes," Saphirax confirmed, "and you can help them. Watch." The Elder Dragon placed his claw beside Goku's hand on the nexus. Through their combined connection, he showed Goku how to channel the energy, how to select a specific thread, how to push healing power through it, how to balance the flow so that helping one didn't damage another. Goku focused on Verdalis, the small green dragon suffering in Universe 3. He could feel the dragon's pain, its fear, its exhaustion. With careful precision, he pushed golden white energy through the thread connecting them. Across dimensions, across the vast gulf of space, his power reached Verdalis. The dragon was resting in a cavern of pure crystal, trying to recover before Monarch X summoned it again. It felt the energy flowing into it and raised its head in shock. What is this?" Verdalis gasped, as wounds healed, as strength returned, as vitality flooded through its battered form. Through the connection, Goku spoke directly into the dragon's mind. "This is your king. I'm sorry for what you've suffered. I'm going to make it right." More energy flowed. Verdalis' scales, which had been cracked and dull, began to shine again. Its size increased, growing from 10 feet to 15, then 20. Power that had been stolen through forced wishes was restored. "My king," Verdalis said, tears streaming from its eyes. I thought I would die. I thought no one knew or cared." "I know now," Goku said firmly, "and I care. Rest and recover. When Monarch X tries to summon you again, you'll have the strength to resist, and I'll be watching." He felt Verdalis' gratitude like a warm sunshine before he withdrew from the connection. On the grand platform, he opened his eyes, panting slightly from the effort. "That was incredible," he said, grinning despite his exhaustion. "I could feel the dragon healing. It was like giving someone a senzu bean, but 1,000 times more intense." "You've taken your first step as Dragon King," Luminara said with approval. "But there are hundreds more who need your help, thousands even. Can you handle that burden?" Goku's grin widened. "Try me." For the next several days, though time moved strangely in the Dragon Realm, making it hard to measure precisely, Goku worked tirelessly. He connected to dragon after dragon, learning each one's story, understanding their pain, and channeling healing energy to them. He restored the dragon in Universe 10, the one forced to resurrect the reckless prince repeatedly. With its strength returned, the dragon was able to implement a safeguard. The prince could only be resurrected once more. After that, his death would be permanent. Natural consequences would finally apply. He helped the dragon in Universe 12, untangling the temporal paradoxes that had formed around it. This required assistance from the Time Patrol, and Goku found himself working alongside Kronoa, the Supreme Kai of Time, to stabilize the timeline while simultaneously healing the dragon. The dragon in Universe 2, driven mad by love wishes, required a different approach. Goku couldn't just restore its power, he had to help restore its sanity. He sat with that dragon for hours, talking, listening, helping it process the overwhelming emotions it had been forced to manipulate. Slowly, gently, the dragon's mind healed. The dragon trapped in the time loop was the hardest. Goku had to physically enter that universe, find the location where the loop existed, and carefully unravel the wish that had created it. It took precision and patience, two things Goku wasn't naturally known for, but his new role was teaching him both. When the loop finally broke, the dragon, a beautiful silver creature named Chronalis, wept with relief. 10,000 years, it said. I've been trapped for 10,000 years, experiencing the same moment over and over. Thank you, my king. Thank you." Each healing, each restoration, each dragon saved filled Goku with a sense of accomplishment different from winning a fight. This wasn't about being stronger than an opponent. This was about making things better, about undoing damage, about giving hope to those who had lost it. But it was exhausting. After healing the 30th dragon in a row, Goku collapsed onto the grand platform, breathing hard. His sweat poured down his face despite the realm's perfect temperature. His muscles ached in ways they hadn't since his hardest training sessions.